Hi everyone, and a happy Erev Pesach to one and all. I hope everybody's doing well and your families are doing well and getting the last minute preparations for this, what I'll call a Seder of a lifetime. And the reason I say this, that there's, I think, in every situation, there's the outer trappings and then there's the deeper inner meanings or the deeper happenings that are happening. And I think we have an opportunity this year, one that is not by our choice, but really to be a Seder of a lifetime, a once in a lifetime opportunity. As we all know, there are many people will be having Seders with just their immediate family, some just with their spouse, and some even having the Seder all alone. But even though this is something that we have not chosen for ourselves, it's an opportunity to be able to really delve in and really to have a very, very meaningful Seder. And the reason I say this is because usually Passover is one of the most fondest memories and experiences that people have. And usually it's because so many people come together and we put so much effort into making the most beautiful Seder. It's the most celebrated holiday. It's people usually making lots of props, lots of children, grandchildren, cousins come together. And a lot of times in the hustle and bustle of this amazing, meaningful, and family get-together Passover experience, the actual deeper experience of the Seder takes a back seat. We're so busy tending to the children, we're so busy making sure everything is perfect, and the trappings are perfect, and the catering is perfect, and the food is perfect, that we don't really necessarily get to experience each of the deeper meanings of what the Seder is really all about. So this year, as all that, if you want to say chaos and noise is not there, it gives us an opportunity to really focus on the steps of the Seder. The matzah, what the matzah experience, the maror, the karpas, the dipping in the salt water, what that is really all about, to re-experience the Seder, to re-experience a connection with the God who has taken you and our ancestors out of slavery. And it's really a really humble, maybe in the most simplistic sense, in a simple, humble Seder, gives us a little bit of a raw, undiluted Passover experience, you and God, a one-on-one conversation that can be very, very meaningful, that might not ever happen ever again. We hope that we should be able to go back. God willing, next year the Seder will be again with all its noise and all its experience. But let's make the most of having this one-on-one with God and having this one-on-one Passover meaningful Pesach experience. The second thing I would like to share is also about the guest. Many people won't be having their physical guest with them at the Seder. But guess what? There are other guests that will be at our Seder that we can focus on. Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism tells us that our loved ones, once they pass away, they are not limited to their physical bodies. And they are with us and close to us, even closer in a spiritual sense than when they were alive. And specifically, our loved ones come to join us into meaningful and spiritual experiences. They come to join us. So as it gets very quiet at our Seder, and we're not busy with our other guest, it's a time to be able to tap into the divine guest that will be joining us at the Seder. Thinking about the nachas that our loved ones, our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, those that have sacrificed their lives and done and dedicated their lives so that we should be able to have this Passover experience. And even those that for whatever reason Passover wasn't so important to them, now that they're in the world of truth, the Olam HaEmes, this is what's important to them to know, that their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren are experiencing Judaism in the most meaningful sense. And it's a time, as it's quiet and still, and there's no noise, we should actually be able to hear our spiritual guests that are present with us and know that it's not just this Pesach that they're with us. They've been with us all other Passovers and all other meaningful experiences. And that warmth, that embrace of knowing that they are joining us with us and they're rooting for us and they're with us day in, day out is a time to focus on that as well. And the third experience is, and this has to do with our children, grandchildren, and those that we impact. The Seder is supposed to be an educational experience. The Seder is really, we do things specifically. We do some odd things. We do things that are not normal. We take the karpas, we dip it in salt water. We do all different types of things that are not normal, so that we should stop and get attention to be able to have an educational experience. Now, guess what? There's nothing more not normal than this Pesach experience that we are having. All children have tuned in. Everybody's listening. Everybody's asking questions. Why is this night different than all other nights? Why is this Passover different than all other Passovers? And we have an opportunity to be able to educate. There's a mission. There's a mission in the Passover Seder is to accomplish. Our mission to accomplish is to be able to answer those questions to the others, which is our children, our grandchildren, and to ourselves as well. So yes, it's a time to stop, to look at the oddities of the situation, ask the questions so that we can answer them. This will be the most memorable Passover for many, many people, something they will never forget. But let us also share the message to our children, our grandchildren, those around us, that despite the difficulties, despite the challenges, Pesach is important. We will experience Pesach. We won't let the trials and tribulations and whatever stumbling blocks come in our way stop us from having this special Jewish experience, this Passover experience, connection to God. We're teaching them, we're educating them. And let us use this experience that we should be able to have this greatest mission accomplished, that they should know what's important. Passover is important despite anything else. And we're going to do it. We're going to do it with our head held high. And let us hope that this Passover experience, as we experience the Pesach steps, each of the steps that we do, we eat the matzah. Matzah is food of freedom, food of healing, food of faith. Let us ingest faith. Let us ingest healing. Let us utilize this unique Passover experience that was not by our choice, but given to us. And we step up to the plate to make sure that we do it in the best way possible. And let us hope in merit of that, as we say during our Seder, that we should get to merit to be able to eat Psachim and Azvachim from the Paschal Lamb and the offerings, that this should be the last Passover that we're in exile. And may this month of Nisan and this holiday experience take us out of this exile with the great miracles and wonders, and that we'll be able to talk about not 10 plagues, but the 11th plague, which ultimately took us out of this exile. May we merit to see that redemption with the coming of Mashiach. And not only will we fill a cup for Elijah, but we'll actually be able to drink that 5th cup of Elijah, as he tells us, and he brings us the great news of this end of this exile. May it be speedily in our days. Amen. A happy Passover to all.